Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk. Forget about it. Oh, welcome to Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk. They're the Sage Brothers. My name is Rick.
My name is Ed.
And it's our very first podcast here on YouTube with Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk. We're going to talk maybe about top 5 players right now, our predictions, where they'll sign, what team they'll be with. And of course, the biggest free agent on the market is Juan Soto, outfielder for the Yankees. Maybe no longer. Who knows? So Juan Soto probably be looking at over $600 million, 15 years. He's a young player. He's someone to build around. Whoever grabs him will have a great future ahead of him. So what do you think, Ed?
I think he's the most sought after player out there, and I think that's going to go. I'm going to agree with you. $600 million, 15 years. I'm going with Uncle Steve. Uncle Steve has the money. I think the Mets sign him, make that big splash. And he signs with the Mets, $600 million, 15 years. What's your intake?
Well, here's the thing. You do have Uncle Steve there. He's got the Benjamins. He's got the money. He's got the green. Al and Hank are not George Steinbrenner. He'd probably be tossing over in his grave right now. He would sign everybody and their mother and their father just to get that player. But you may be right. I mean, yeah, Uncle Steve does have the money. He's aggressive. The Mets, they're a scruffy team. I know he wants to grab the back page of the Post and Daily News here in New York. So you may be right. I'm still hoping Yankees will sign him. He wants to play with Judge. He wants to play with an MVP player. Yankees make some more signings, re-signings, and Yankees end up with Soto. But there's a possibility.
My final prediction, Mets, $600 million, 15 years. What's yours?
Nobody's mentioned the Dodgers, though. The Dodgers could be a wild card here. I know they already spent a lot of money with Ohtani and all that. But it is it's California, it's Hollywood, Los Angeles, they want to make a splash. But I don't think it's that easy. There'll have to be some juggling done on their part with financials, with their books. My final prediction, he comes back to the Yankees, finishes what he started, plays with Judge, and we finally win the World Series. That's my take. All right, we're going to move on to other players.
We got Corbin Burns, former Baltimore Oriole pitcher, free agent, probably I'd say, in my opinion, the most sought-after pitcher, starting pitcher that is out. He did have a 15-9 record with a 2.92 ERA. I think he either the Mets, maybe he stays at home with the Orioles, or goes to the Red Sox. But my final take, the Mets, 3 years, $90 million. What's yours?
Well, the money, I really don't know about money, about these contracts. I'm not going to start judging and dreaming what they are. But Corbin Burns is, it's going to be highly sorted. They're going to go after this. I think he may stay home with the Orioles, but that's a big catch because who really wants to play for the Orioles, right? No. But maybe Burns. Maybe he wants to stay home. Maybe he's a homer. So let's just go with, I'll play devil's advocate. Won't put too much into this. I say maybe he stays in the American League and maybe the Angels make a run at him, or he stays home in Baltimore. That's my pick.
My pick, New York Mets.
Uncle Steve.
Of course. Next, we got Blake Snell, just over a handful of teams that are interested in him. I'm looking at maybe the San Francisco Giants, the Red Sox, or the sleeper pick, in my opinion, Toronto Blue Jays. I think he stays.
Right.
I think he stays home, but he was on the Giants last year. I think he stays put. 3 years, $90 million. What's your prediction?
Maybe the money might be a little bit more than that, but he did good at homer. Maybe he'll stay there. We don't know what's in his bank. Then maybe the Red Sox will come in and swoop in. I mean, it's hard to say no to the Red Sox, even though I can't stand them being a Yankee fan. But the Red Sox have a habit of getting those top players. They play with them. They come in there, and they're always in contention. But I'll go with my final thought. I think he'll make the move over to the American League and the Red Sox. That's my pick.
With the Giants. Next up,
with the Giants.
Next up, we got the Polar Bear, former New York Mets first baseman. There's a whole handful of teams looking at him. I'd say it's between the Mets, the Yankees, and the sleeper team, in my opinion, Seattle. Here's my intake on it. I think he stays with the Mets only if Soto signs with the Yankees. So we'll assume that Soto goes to the Yankees. I think Alonso signs to the Mets, 7 years, $210 million. But if the Mets sign Soto, I see Alonso going to the New York Yankees.
All right, I'll play devil's advocate. The other side of the coin, you're right. These two players are intertwined. Yankees don't sign Soto and the Mets do, then Pete Alonso will replace Rizzo at first base for the Yankees. Now, if the Yankees do sign Soto, there's not too much more money left, and the Mets will have no choice but to keep their homer and re-sign Pete Alonso for over $200 million there. So we both agree. One player affects another. Soto signs with the Yankees, Alonso stays put with the Mets. Soto comes in, Uncle Steve brings out the Benjamin signed Soto. Then Pete Alonso said, you know what? I'm heading across the river. I don't have to change my address. Just change the uniforms. I'll go over to the Yanks. That's my final prediction.
Next up, we got Sean Manaea, former Met. We're looking at a whole handful of us because, you know, a lot of teams are looking at throwing pitches. Mets being, I think he stays home, stays with the Mets at 3 years, $90 million. This is just a guesstimate as far as years and money, but I think he stays home with the New York Mets.
Well, my opinion, I don't hear too much about him in the trade, with him signings with anyone else. I think he's one of those guys who are kind of like in the background. They're not putting too much attention on him. And the Mets re-sign that I would agree with. I would definitely agree with you with that. He'll stay home. He's a homer. The Mets will re-sign him. They give him a nice little paycheck. And the Mets pretty much have the same type of roster. I mean, there are other players out there we can mention, but he'll stay. The Mets will re-sign Manaea.
Here's a guy I want to mention as well, because it has a little bit of a play to do with Alonso. So here's the scenario, in my opinion. If Soto lands with the Mets, Alonso lands with the Yankees, and I think baseman Diamondback. He goes to the New York Mets if Alonso goes to the Yankees and Soto signs with the Mets, as we're predicting. I think he goes to the New York Mets, 3 years, $75 million. The Mets need a replacement for Alonso. He has pop in his bat. I say Christian Walker, New York Mets, if Alonso goes to the Yankees. What do you think?
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. I know we're brothers, we don't agree on, but definitely have to agree with you on that one. I mean, there are all players that pretty much intertwine with each other. If one guy goes here, then one guy will stay put. One guy goes across the river, then they're pretty much swapping players. Talking about Soto and Alfonso, you know. I mean, it's kind of hard to predict. I mean, these are just predictions. We don't work more baseball than I am. So go with your picks.
What do you think?
With Walker?
Yeah.
I really didn't put too much attention into him, so I'll have to rethink about him. He's definitely a replacement for Alonso.
That's something.
Probably stay in the National League and play there. Who knows? Money talks, right?
There's one other guy I want to talk about. What about Torres from the Yankees? There's going to be a lot of teams looking for him at base.
Yeah, I still, these are the things. He's got these players who are up and coming. I think he has an affinity of being a homer, staying with the Yankees. I don't know what the ballpark figure is going to be, but I think Gleyber Torres will stay with the Yanks. Now, if there's somebody out there that's a little better than him or comparable to him and he wants to seek the money, seek the contract, can't stop a guy from leaving, right? So ultimately, it's all about money, then also about potential. The team, is it a championship team? Is it a team that's up and rising? If I go there with these other players signing, can we make it a run at the World Series? We already know that the Yankees and Mets are both playoff teams. Yankees are a little bit step ahead, but now we don't know with the Soto sweepstakes what's going on. So,
I'll give you my input as far as I think here's a sleeper team. He leaves the Yankees and he signs with Seattle. That's my prediction. You heard
Seattle
it
first. Doesn't pop up. It doesn't come out there. It doesn't just, for me, Seattle, I mean, who knows? I mean, other Yankees, they've gone to different teams and gone to garbage they cared about,
Why don't we talk about one other player I have in mind?
Who else you want to talk about?
Jack Flaherty. He was on the Dodgers. Didn't look so good in the World Series, but he's going to have a whole bunch of suitors after him. Here's looking at over a handful of teams. We got the Angels, the Padres, maybe the Dodgers as a fallback, maybe the Yankees as well. They need to bolster their rotation. But I'm saying he goes to the Angels, and I think he goes for 8 years. I'd say $150 million. They're going to overspend for him. They need pitching. Angels, my prediction.
You know what? I'm going to go on the limb here. I'll say San Diego Padres. Padres need to shore up their team. They need to have somebody there, They sign these agents. They're pretty stagnant. They're not doing anything. They're not making any news. Not even a back page. They're like a page 6 of a California newspaper. So they need to make a splash. I think he goes to the Padres and they pay him.
All right. What about Max Fried, the former Atlanta Brave pitcher, lefty? He's going to be sought after. Looking at, you like to think he's going to stay home. I think he's a little too pricey for them. So you're probably looking at maybe Dodgers, San Diego. I think he lands with San Diego.
I agree with that. Definitely. I think San Diego, like I said before, they need to shore up their team. You have to start going after pitching. You have to go with some notable players that they're impact players. So these guys definitely, I think San Diego does a few extra moves than everyone else in this offseason.
I like to see
San Diego Padres too.
I like to see something else. I think that watch out for the Red Sox this year because they really didn't spend much last year. They had a pretty good team. They need some starting pitching. They need some bullpen arms. They could use a first baseman as well. They're probably another team that you could say Christian Walker might go to. I'd say watch out for the Red Sox. They could pretty much spend with the big boys, with the Mets and Yankees and Dodgers, Padres. So I'm thinking that besides what you made a good call on, which I somewhat agree, if he doesn't stay home with San Francisco, Blake Snell, he'll go to the Red Sox for sure, in my opinion, that is. And I think you could also see another sleeper, in my opinion. He's talked about. He was an all-star, and everybody is looking at him right now.
Who's this?
Tosar Hernandez, the former Dodger. They're pretty great in the World Series. I say he's one of the guys, in my opinion, that lands with the Red Sox.
I do think the American League going to make a few splash moves, and I think the Reds will be two teams besides the Yankees trying to make a big splash in the offseason. That's a possibility right there. I don't see the Seattle making too many moves, but I don't think there's an appeal there for them. But yeah, plus it's too like depressing there. It rains too much. But anyway,
he was on Seattle a while back, but
right. I don't see him going back. It's depressing. You're going back to rainy old Seattle. I'm sorry, but not offending anybody in Seattle. It's just the way it is.
They have a retractable dome, by the way.
I know they have a dome, but still, you go outside, you're depressed. I'm sorry.
What about your other player that you like so much? Let's go one last one.
What's that?
Soriano. Oh, wait. Savarino.
What are you talking about? Soriano. What are you talking about?
No, Savarino. My mistake. My apologies. Savarino.
Savarino. Here's my take. We don't know what to expect from him. He shows so much promise. Injuries, coming back, showing promise. Then, I mean, the Yankees, you could still take a chance on him and, keep him re-signed, but I don't know.
I think
I like to re-sign. I like to get refreshing Holmes. I know he's a free agent. I want to get the bullpen shored up, but Yankees do need to revamp the whole starting lineup.
I think after a great season with the New York Mets this past season, I think the Mets just little mechanics that he worked on with the Mets. He had a better year than he has in the last 4. I see him going back to the Mets.
You do?
Yeah, I see him signing a 2-year contract for $30 million.
Well, yeah, Latino stay in the New York area, Where else is he go eat some good Latino food, That's home. So it's either Yankees. I can agree with that. We'll keep that as all right. So we got all these players signed. Soto's the big guy. That guy everyone's talking about. No one really cares, to be honest, about right now, but anyone else. Teams themselves working behind the scenes, trying to sign an Alonso, trying to sign a Clay Holmes, trying to sign, Snell, Burns, those type of guys. They'll get signed, but we really don't know where they're going to go. The home, they're after the money.
Once we see Soto sign, then you're going to see a snowball
Then
effect.
You could say, right, there's a domino effect. Then everyone, it's going to feel like a free fall. Everyone's going to start making a lot of moves. It's going to go crazy. After that one signing, people scrambling to their plan B, plan C, and there'll be a bunch of signings,
Yeah. So that's it, our opinion, as far as this is only our predictions. Again, we're avid baseball fans, and this is our opinion as far as what our predictions are. Stay tuned. I think that we'll have many more to come, and we'll do from the rest of the free agents.
Yeah, we'll talk about notable free agents on our next podcast. It is our first podcast, so hit the subscribe button, hit that button, put thumbs up, or forget about it. I'm going to break your legs. You better put that damn thing going, all right? Guys, support Brooklyn, all right? The Brooklyn Brothers, Sage Brothers. Hit that like button, subscribe. We'll put more content out there. We just started. You got to give us new podcasts a chance, all right? If you don't, forget about it. Go see someone else. But hopefully you stay tuned. Watch Brooklyn Brothers Sports Talk. See you in the next. Thank you for watching. Take care. Wash your hands.
And how you doing?
Forget about it. Oh, take care.